In today's video, I want to talk about narcissists and religion. Many people are under the belief that the church is a narc-free zone. This is completely erroneous. So let's do what we do. Let's dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after 6 years.
Hey human family, how are you? I hope all is well. For those of you new to the channel, I would like to welcome you to Fully Alive Again. My name is Darren. I'm a narcissist researcher, coach, author, and survivor of a covert narcissist mother, siblings, and a 23-year marriage to a covert narcissist. Yes, you could say that I've been through hell and back. Come on, man. Come on, man. But I am fully alive and glad to be alive. This was not always the case. These people pushed me to the brink of suicide at one time in my life, and I am living proof that you can find the joy, the happiness, the power to live a full life and become fully alive again, regardless of your age and circumstance. And to my fully alive warriors, you know how I appreciate your viewership. And I got nothing but love for you guys. So let's get going, you guys. You know, discovering that you're surrounded by narcissistic cluster B people is a very traumatic experience. It is traumatizing. But one of the things that it does is that it illuminates that there is evil in the world that's tangible. You see it the way that these people are shapeshifters. The way that their eyes change, their demeanor changes, their voice changes, the very structure of their face, they can mutate it to look like a demon. And if you've witnessed this type of thing, please leave a comment below, because this is unfathomable for most people. Having said this, when you experience that kind of darkness, the first thing that it does is that it illuminates that there are good and bad energies in our world. Because if there is a dark energy that drives narcissism, there is a positive light energy that contradicts that. And usually we look at that, or we look for the answers of that in the church, in ministries, in religion. And nothing wrong with that. I want to say that from the jump. But when we do that, we can be fooled into believing that there are no narcissists in these environments. And that is far from the reality of the world that we live in. There is no place where these people don't exist. It's impossible, so don't even try it. I'm not saying that to cause fear, because as I say over and over again, once you know what these people are, they're an effing joke. They're nothing to fear. The only time that you should fear them is when you don't know who and what they are. This is why I am doing this show. So when you seek a respite, a place to rest your head, which is on the contrary of the evil you just encountered, a lot of times that's going to be a church. And you can set yourself up by being victimized by the people in these religious organizations. Okay, you guys? One of the things that most people do when they find out that someone has been abused by a narcissist, what narcissists do, be it if they're psychologists, religious ministers, preachers, etc., life coaches, anything that's there to help you, is that they try to weaken you. They try to suck the life out of you. What anyone fears from their enemy is for their enemy to be powerful, to be strong, to be focused, and to be aware of their own power. This is what separates my podcast, my show, my ideology and philosophy from many life coaches and podcasts, is that I believe that you, me, we should be as powerful as possible. How powerful should you be in terms of having confidence to defend yourself, be it physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically? How powerful should you be? As powerful as possible. What a lot of churches, therapists, life coaches do is that they baby you into being your comfort, the place for you to fall, and a soft place for you to fall. Nature, God, the universe, in my humble opinion, abhors weakness. Your creator, whatever your faith is, whatever your religion is, whatever your beliefs are, whatever created you, me, we, did not intend for us to be weak. There lies the problem. So, I don't want to digress into that area. I'll get into that in future shows a little more detailed and in depth. Right now, what I want you to realize is that everyone is suspect, especially in a church and in any religious sector and in any kind of new age spirituality, whatever. This is where these people hover. I think from my own experience that there are just as many, if not more, narcissists running churches, working in churches, affiliated with churches, and members of churches than the outside population of the world. That's very frightening. Now, that doesn't mean that the wisdom in the scripture and all of the things that you can learn from the good book or of any religion, that doesn't negate or destroy those messages. What it does, though, it prevents you from really understanding, in my opinion, how to utilize those messages. You know, regardless of your belief about religion or God or what have you, if you come across and see the bare essence of the evil of a destructive narcissist, and see them with their mask off, and see the demon that exists behind those eyes, it will compel you to seek spirituality, God, in whatever form that you believe in. It is one of the most compelling things that there is a God, because everything in life has a polar opposite. We have up, down, right, left, north, south, east, west. Everything has a polar opposite. So if there is a evil energy that pulsates behind these people and inside them, there is a good energy and a God energy in the world too. When you seek that, I believe it's an internal journey using outside resources like the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, all of the great spiritual literature of the world that will lead you to the Creator. But that is a personal journey. There's an old saying, and I don't know where it comes from, but it says, if you don't have a heart or a temple in your heart, you won't find your heart in a temple. A very wise man by the name of Anthony DeMello put God like this. He said there were two blind kids playing in the park. And these blind kids would play together while their parents watched them. And one day, one of the blind kids said to his father, he said, "Daddy, what is spring like?" And his father said, it's like this silk scarf. Feel this. That's what spring is like. That's what it looks like. That's what it is. And the kid remembered that. Now the other blind kid, he asked his father the same question. Daddy, what is spring like? And he said, son, it's like this. It's like the sound of this flute. And he played a note, a beautiful note from the flute. And he said, that's what spring is like. So later on in life, these two blind kids meet up again, and they're in the park with their kids. And one of their kids asked their father, Daddy, what is spring like? And unfortunately, their child was blind too. And the blind father said to his blind child, springtime is like this silk scarf, son. And the other father heard that, and he said, no, it's not. This was the other blind guy. He said, it's like a flute. It's like the note of this flute. And he pulled out his phone and let the kid hear the note of the flute. And the father said, no, it isn't. It's like this green scarf. And they began to argue and became fierce enemies of each other. Now, do any one of these men really know what the color and feel of spring is like? Do they know what springtime looks like? No, they can't imagine it, and they run off of the information that their father told them about spring. This is what we do with God in religion. Is there a spring? Absolutely. Is there a God? In my opinion, absolutely. Does anyone walking this earth know exactly what it is? Absolutely not. The Native Americans had a saying that he who knows doesn't know. He who doesn't know knows. I don't know. I know that it's there. But do I know the nuances and all that it is? No. But I do know what it isn't. And in many churches, if not all of them, in my humble opinion, there is too much narcissist energy running these places and operating many of the events and directions that these organizations go. You can't trust it. These people seek narcissistic supply wherever they go. And like I like to do on my show and on this podcast, is give you tangible proof of everything that I'm saying. These people are everywhere. In this next clip, I will show you a church member who is certainly a higher up member, a member that's very involved in the church, verbally abuse a young teenage girl who's a church member when she thinks no one is watching. And just how a narcissist seeks and destroys at every opportunity they have, even in the church. Why this is so alarming, this is supposed to be a safe place to rest, where good people exist. So you will notice the impact it has on the young lady, on the teenage girl, because she believes she's around people of God. And she isn't. That is the takeaway. So check this out. I think you'll find it very interesting.
Don't speak to I'm sorry.
Here's a church leader, Karen, who followed a teen girl into the bathroom to tell her she's too fat for shorts.
She's a chubby girl. She's got a dress on that's appropriate. It comes down to about top of her knees.
So you're sitting here calling me fat?
Oh, you don't think you are?
No, because I f***ing love who I am. I'm sorry. No,
You
get
can
the
love.
out of my face.
I don't have to. And don't swear at me like that.
I don't give a
I do. That's your problem. I do give a
So here we have a church member narc who is getting her narcissistic supply from a young girl in a bathroom. Now, you also should notice and take note of the reactive abuse. The girl started to cuss back at her because what she was doing was so inappropriate. And then the narcissist church member started to chastise her for swearing and put herself in the victim role, in the right role, trying to make this young girl feel like she was wrong. These are very nuanced behaviors that you really should be aware of when you're out in the world and interacting with people. Because I made a grave mistake when my ex was doing things like this to my daughter, and my daughter was lashing out to reprimand my daughter for bad behavior when all that she was doing was protecting herself from a mother who was torturing her emotionally. So let's continue.
Baby girl, she's got a dress on that's appropriate. It comes down to about top of her knees.
So you're sitting here calling me fat?
Oh, you don't think you are?
No, because I f***ing love who I am. I'm sorry. No,
You
get
can
the
love.
out of my face.
I don't have to. And don't swear at me like that.
I don't give a shit.
I do. That's your problem. I do give a shit. But you don't. Obviously. Don't come back on that stage with those shorts. I'm warning you.
Who are you? Who are you? Who?
You can read my name.
I see that, but who are you to tell me what I'm supposed to
Lower
do?
your
No,
voice.
get the f*** out of my face!
You see, this girl doesn't even know who this woman is. And she's at a church that is supposed to be a safe place. And here's a covert narcissist going for what she believes is the lowest hanging fruit to bully and hurt a young teenager, a child. These people are vulgar and they cannot live without causing harm to other people, no matter where they're at. And she has the nerves to go into this woman or this young teenage girl and talk to her as if she's her mother or some type of authority figure. This is how these people operate. This is what covert narcissism looks like. This is the gentle side of it. Imagine this poor woman's children. There's more.
Don't come back on that stage with those shorts. I'm warning you.
Who are you? Who are you? Who?
You can read my name.
I see that, but who are you to tell me what I'm supposed to
Lower
do?
your
No,
voice.
get the f*** out of my face!
Quit swearing at me.
Get out!
Don't talk.
I am 19 years old and I can do whatever I want!
Really?
Yes!
Try it.
Okay, bye! 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 Bye, 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 because guess what? I've been recording this entire thing, and I will show my parents that I will never come back to this church because of how much you are disrespectful. You are so disrespectful. She called me fat. She called me fat. She called
You see, I bet you this woman had actually been studying this girl and saw some vulnerability in her during rehearsals or sometimes when this girl didn't know that she was watching, and she went in for the narcissistic supply kill. What she didn't know, and she was surprised by, is that this young teenage girl had a camera on and told her, I'm going to show my parents and I'm never coming to this church again. Then she went into the covert narcissist, female covert narcissist mode. I ain't ever done nothing to nobody. I'm just a beautiful butterfly floating around, shitting rainbows and unicorns. I ain't ever done nothing to nobody. Just an innocent angel floating around, spreading peace at the church, baking cakes and cookies, and spreading the Lord's words. I ain't never done nothing to nobody. I just shit unicorns and butterflies. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's who these people are. And she went into immediately to destroy this young girl's reputation. She would go to the limit to say that this girl needs meds, or how far she would go. She probably started crying in the next scene, which there wasn't one. But if she's following the typical covert female narcissist behavior, the tears were coming, and I'm the victim. I was just helping this poor girl, giving her some sound advice, and she lost it. You see, the takeaway, you guys, is that these people are everywhere, and I personally believe you find them more in church settings because it gives them the camouflage that they need to victimize. One of the things that you didn't see here, because it's more covert, is that the church and many religious organizations and many podcasts and many assets and vehicles that are there for people who have gone through narcissistic abuse, as I said earlier, are designed to make people weak and to feel afraid, and all that they do is focus on the pain that the narcissist caused you, and talk about the narcissist as if there's some powerful entity that you cannot maneuver around or protect yourself from. And this is utterly ridiculous. They only have power in their camouflage and their chameleonness. They are not these 10 feet tall miracle workers. They're just small pieces of you know what. The takeaway is that you must stay conscious when you're in a church environment. The churches that I went to in the spiritual quests that I was on after I realized I came across real evil, and for the lack of a better word, Satan's daughter, and that these people are possessed with some type of evil entity. I went to the church to seek truth and to find solace, and there was none. Now, that was just my experience. I'm not saying all churches are like that. And it was a beehive of narcissistic people in the management and even the pastor and preachers themselves. Another thing about narcissists in church is that I really think they're so disillusioned that they think they can fool God. This is how crazy these people are. And that's a whole nother show. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but it just dawned on me while saying this. So anyway, I hope you guys got some value out of today's show, and it helps you be more aware and more empowered. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more powerful you get. So thanks again for stopping by, you guys. I deeply appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. And until then, protect yourself at all time.